This week, the renovation of our 17th century miner's cottage in the wilds of Scotland continues at a pace as we face up to the worst rotten surprises the house has thrown at us yet. Yep, it's safe to say that sparks are gonna fly. Another day, another nice day actually, back up in Lead Hills, and the blue skies and sunshine that we've had for the last couple of weeks are continuing. I am here to do further battle with these windows. You saw bits getting picked off them and scraped off them and generally destroyed last week. Well, today I'm going to put some of that right. The evening chorus is getting quite loud in the background. I've got the brass band down the hill and all the birdies. One of the biggest problems with houses like this is keeping the outside because it keeps trying to get inside. So trying to stop leaks and battle storms and stuff. It's an ongoing fight. And because the house was rented out, I've not been here much for the last few years, so yeah, there's quite a lot of work to be done. The roof looks not too bad, although I do have to replace all that metal capping for no reason other than I painted it when I first moved in and it's now all rusty, so I need to get some nice shiny new stuff. Windows need to be painted. They are not getting a great deal more time spent in them because they're getting taken out and replaced at some point. Outside of the house is getting painted, but a lot of the render is not attached to the wall anymore, so that needs to be sorted. I think that's probably a professional job. We'll do that when we're getting our millions from YouTube, because I don't know how it'll be by the time you see this video, but right now we've had 2 episodes of our wee house and our viewership has gone up, so thank you very much to everybody who has hopped on board. Hope you enjoy some of our old stuff. We'll still be doing lots of travelling, but yeah, there'll be quite a lot of this place. I think it's going to be quite a big job. I'm now going to, I painted all this just last week. I'm going to change the plan. I'm going to try and make it look a little bit better. It was just supposed to be a very temporary thing, but these windows actually aren't in bad nick. So if I clean them up a little bit, they should last for another year before I have to get them replaced with double glazed, nice modern units. Well, modern but legal in a conservation area. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this a lot in the next couple of hours. So probably not very excited for you guys to watch, but that is what is progressing. Also, I'm removing as much of the this putty as I can get out, which is quite a lot because it's just falling out. I've got replacement linseed putty to redo that as well, so the windows should look, hopefully, well, not brilliant, but better when I'm finished. That's the plan anyway. Yeah, it's interesting how many 100 layers of paint are probably on these windows. I think these windows date back to about the 1920s. That's when this kitchen was built, I think, more or less. De Niro thinks I can't see him, and he's making himself at home. De Niro, you're not supposed to be lying on that. You have got 2 beds in that house. Why do you want mine? Now, I don't want to spend too long on these windows because they are going to have to get replaced at some point, because these are obviously just single glazed, rattly, and probably the best part of 100 years old, I think. So I am just replacing the putty that is missing with this. The proper thing, linseed oil putty to fill in all the gaps. That's the plan anyway, and that's all I'm doing the new. And for fans of watching me doing something when I don't really know what I'm doing, this is it. I think you just like put it in like that and then smooth it off and stuff. That's kind of what I'm hoping, like putting icing on a cake. I'm probably no good at that either though. A few minutes later, as they say, that looks not bad. So this is an easy window because this has only got a couple of wee bits missing out of it, but there are others that are much worse. Wait till you see upstairs. Not that I'm going to bore you with hours and hours of footage of window repairs, but you know what I mean. De Niro is watching intently from in there, but that's alright, isn't it? That's looks not too bad, not compared to some of the other junk that's here. I'm sure when it's all painted black, it'll look a million times better. This will be much more of a challenge. There's a big bit there. It's I'm not going to put a timestamp on this, so you don't actually know how long this is going to take me. But you sort of just like gloop it on and then worry about it afterwards. Seems to be the best approach, as with so much in life. Yeah. Right, I'll show you that when it's finished and looks neat. And there you are, a short time later. Comparatively, that's that bit done. It's looking pretty good actually. I think this will look fine once I get it painted and all the remains of previous bodges removed. These windows round the side of the house are okay, and some guys have just walked past it. I don't know what they're smoking, but it's quite pungent. That one up there is in a bit of a sorrier way, so I'm going to go and see if I can get some putty on that and fix it up a wee bit. I'll show you the very exciting back of the house if you haven't seen it before. It's not quite as photogenic as the front. The house was built obviously into the slope, which means it is, as I've said before, quite warm. It never actually freezes inside, even when there's no heating on, which is a good thing. And a gratuitous wee panorama of the work in progress, showing what I will call improvements, but that's using the term very loosely. Everywhere you go, there's a very, very similar looking dog-a-log. Hi De Niro, I won't be long. As I said down there, unfortunately the upstairs windows are in remarkably worse nick than the ones downstairs, so even to bodge these to last for another wee while is going to be a bit of a... I think I'm going to need more putty for a start. I suppose one advantage of these ones being in much worse condition is it's bigger bits that are getting puttied. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's certainly a thing. It was all going so well. I think that looks pretty good. I could, if I was doing it properly, take all the old stuff out, but there's no point. As I said before, single glazed windows need to be replaced. But now I've run out of putty, so yeah, that's probably it for this wee shift. I'll go and see if there's anything else I can be doing down there, but I don't think so. A bit of a tidy up. And whilst we're waiting for that window putty to set, I think it's time for a wee road trip. We're going to go off and see if we can find some cool stuff for our wee house, and then we're going to go and visit Arbroath. Now that we are on with the renovation of the house, we're trying to furnish it and supply it. What's the word? What's the word for? Oh, get stuff for it in a shoestring style. So cancer research charity shop. So if I've said that, you're wondering why am I in the toy department? I'll just say mind your own business. No, house stuff. I wasn't looking at the toys.
I think you're there.
Got to stay focused on... Oh look, there's a little fox. Every cottage in Lettles should have a large plush toy.
Too expensive.
Oh, it's not dear, it's a unicorn. We found a couple of books that we sold for for a reasonable profit, so we're now grovelling about on the floor in charity shops looking for arty books. With the world going the way it is, maybe that'd be a good investment. On cassette. Oh. Breakthrough Chinese in 3 months, Italian and beginners Chinese.
Do you think DVDs are ever going to come back into fashion and be worth the fortune?
I hope not, because I've just binned all mine. Yeah, the great Scottish songs. Oops, it's all fallen over. They're all too keen to be seen. So there's wee Effie poking her nose out in the line of camper vans. This is Arbroath, where camping is allowed. You're allowed to park your van on this bit of the foreshore, and as you can see, lots and lots of people have taken advantage of it. I said that, and then I saw that sign, end of motorhome parking area. Motorhomes must not be parked beyond this point. I don't think many people are paying attention. I suppose it would help if these people didn't park sideways, you could squeeze a few more in. So that's the view out the back of the van at Arbroath. And when we first got De Niro, as Bex has just said, you wouldn't open the back door in case he voomed, because we thought greyhounds are really, really high energy. It's the sort of dog that won't even stand up to eat his dinner. He'll only eat his dinner if he can reach it from his bed. Lazy doofus. There's people in there having far too much fun for a Saturday morning. We're back in Arbroath and we've done parkrun, but we're now going to go to the charity shops, and as well as our usual array of looking for things to sell on eBay, we're now looking at things for our wee house in the country, because we have a difference of opinion, and this is where we'd like to know what you guys think, because I want to go for all sort of, for want of a less pretentious expression, period stuff that would be sort of in the house when it was young, when it was first built. But Beck said that means no hot water, no toilet, and a tin bath. She thinks it should be a bit more modern. So what do you guys think? What's your opinion? I would quite like to have this as a fixer-upper. This would be quite a nice project. When we were here before and we did our episode from Arbroath, somebody told me that buses used to drive through this arch up until quite recently. Can't really imagine that, can you? Right, first stop is PDSA. That is really cool. Look at his face. Oh, you found more Peter Rabbit stuff. He was very damp with still sitting in the can. Okay.
Peter sat down to rest. He was very damp with sitting in that can. Anything you fancy in the men's section?
I like the Scottish Ghosts and Bogles, but not for that.
Pants, darts, and hat case.
Shoes. Running
Every
shoes.
man's needs. Shoe brushes, dominoes.
You're just being... dominoes. We'll buy some dominoes.
Not at £3.95.
Okay. Bex is disappointed and slightly perplexed as to why books in that shop were £1 each. Just found this old... we like old board games. This one's quite cool. What's this? Right. Do you want to play along at home? Your letter is D, And your question is...
What's the question?
A household duty.
Oh, dusting.
Oh, well done. I was actually going to let the punters have a guess at that one. Okay, try it again. How about a G? And your question is something seen on a country ramble. Answers in the comments. I love these sort of 1960s covers. I mean, that's...
Swinging in a winter wonderland.
Yes, he's not looking at her very much like he's... it's not a very Father Christmassy look, is it?
No.
But then she is scantily clad. The excitement of finding 10-year-old car magazines. They should be quite interesting. I think I'm going to read those later on.
What did you buy in there?
Nothing.
Let me see. Oh.
But.
Very cute.
Lego.
Lego, lovely.
Nothing to see here, just a seagull moseying along. This is such a cool wee shop, but Bex is lucky it's closed, or I could spend some money. Well, we didn't find anything in Arbroath for the new house, but on the way back from Arbroath, I did a wee stop off at a place that I've driven past before but couldn't get parked because the car park was full. Can you guess what it is?
Yeah, you guessed it. It's a wee church and a nice wee graveyard. And if you want to see a lot more of this graveyard, go and check out Places for the Past, where there's a full episode on it.
Tadero, are you a bit warm? Do you want to go and get a drink? You're not really bright enough to drink. You'll just sit and look at the bowl of water and then keep panting, won't you? Because panting is something that you seem to like doing. Right, and with a Places for the Past episode in the can, as they say, and Bex having read another chapter of our book, we're going to Glenrothes now to look at furniture for the wee house in the hills. Let's see. There's a good second-hand furniture shop there. We're going to go and investigate. Back at the increasingly good-looking house in the hills for some more acts of violence against the trailer tent. In today's highly technical episode of whatever we're calling this, destruction, this frame is about to meet its maker, or as much of its maker as I can get with the two cutting discs that I have here. It's always quite good fun being unnecessarily violent. Now I'm wondering if that could just be cut into two halves, if that would still be liftable or not. That would be the easiest number of cuts, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As opposed to trying to chop it into bits. Would that fit in the back of the van? No idea. Well, it's definitely getting there, and nothing has been set on fire yet. Especially not my nice new Meta Ray-Ban glasses, which are taking the brunt of it, I think. I'm sorry for all the people watching that, waiting for me to get hurt. It hasn't happened. It's not been quite successful so far. Although, to be fair, I have probably just jinxed it. 2 bolts on that side. Oh, that's not metal. Came out really easily. The 2 on this side are resisting much more strongly. This last bolt just is not giving up, so it's grinder time. And that is that. This is all just going to go to the tip in the back of the van, I hope. All that stuff in there is still haunting me. I'm going to book a couple of tip runs. I'm back up here Thursday, Friday, and Friday I'll be joined by Bex. So we're going to get all that to the tip, hopefully. Well, that's a plan anyway. Oh, and that as well. Can't actually start doing any of the improvement works we want to do till we've cleared out all the junk, which means that's going to go, the stuff over there is going to go, and that shed is also going to go. And then we're going to get a little digger in to flatten out the land and build a summer house. That's the theory anyway. Aye, De Niro. One of the worst of the rotten bits that we saw outside is on the window on the end of the house, which seems to get all the weather. So because I can get to that from inside, I'm going to go and have a wee look, see if we can remove some of the rotten wood, because there's quite a lot of rotten wood. And I didn't press film before I ripped this out. It would have made for exciting television. Not. This is, as you can see, yeah. That's pretty much rotten. I think I need to replace that and that. And that'll give me a new windowsill there, and yeah, you can see what's falling out of it. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? There's barely enough there to use as a template for for whatever I'm going to replace it with. But I do need those little bits for shutting the window. Although the good news is, it's actually not bad underneath. There's not been much in the way of leakage happening there. The bad news is actually not bad news. I think I'll just ignore all that until it blows away somewhere else. In the well-known Lead Hill tradition of reuse and recycle, I think I might have something that I can actually look at that. That's pretty well gone. So, to replace the rotten bit of wood, I'm going to see if I can improvise something from this. I know the windowsill will now be in 2 halves, but I can live with that if it works. I apologise to anybody ever watching this looking for tips on how to do things properly. As you've probably noticed, I haven't really got a clue. Okay, that is really rough actually, even by my standards, but it shuts, so I think that might be good enough for the moment. Again, all these windows are getting replaced, so I don't want to spend too much time or any money, obviously. I'll put some sort of lip on the edge outside there, and that'll be grand. Well, as bodges go, that one's not bad. Unfortunately, it's a different size to the old bit, but hey ho, it's made out of junk. But look, it shuts. That's good. That is another very minor job done. And just to finish it off, there is the windowsill, which is another bit of wood that I found in my wood store. So yeah, that looks a million times better than it did, because it's not all rotten and rusty, and it might keep some of the weather out, which is kinda the idea. Okay, it's not exactly fixed yet, but I don't have my masonry drill with me, so I can't drill it into the stone. So yeah, but the theory's good. With more seamless continuity, I'm now back in Methil at the shed quarters, Scotland or Shoestrings shed quarters. We're going to try and do a bit of crafting now. I've got those horseshoes that I showed you a couple of weeks back, and I've got all the pottery that we found at Fort William, so let's go and see what we can come up with. This is going to be a prototype. So there you are, there is the starting point. That is a rusty horseshoe. I'm now going to have to hunt around here and see if I can find my wire brushes, because I've got some in here somewhere, I think. I always think that I'm quite well organised right up to the moment when I actually try to find what I'm looking for. Not in that box. And in a totally different box, there we go. What were you expecting? Competence and organisation. So that is the story so far. I don't want to take too much off it, because I want it to have a bit of patina and a bit of age. I think I've got to some holes in there that need to be unblocked. That's yeah, that's looking alright though. Right, I think that is about cleaned up enough. The only problem it's got now is it's got a big lip on the back. That's going to have to come off. That looks like a job for the angle grinder. Da da da. Right, and I am thinking this is quite a nice frame. Maybe a frame full of sea pottery with a horseshoe in it. How's that for a plan? I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm wondering if I could. You see how that sits like that, and it's not flat because the wood's quite thick. I wonder if I could actually grind out slots in that so that would sit flat on the. Oh, now there's a plan. I think I have the makings of a plan. Maybe not a very good one, but a plan nevertheless, because what could be more more shoestring Scottish than Harris tweed? Cover that in Harris tweed. And a horseshoe. And a sea pottery heart. That's going to look quite cool, I think. Let's crack on and see how we do. My concern in all of this is obviously going to be the weight, but that's why we're doing a prototype. Going to try gluing the horseshoe to the background, but I doubt that's going to be strong enough. So possibly a couple of holes drilled, a little some sort of stud put through to hold it onto the wood. That sounds like a plan. Right, next stop, the heart. But you're probably not going. Well, actually, if you know me, you are going to believe this, but it's upside down. Oops. Do not adjust your sets. I've had to change my t-shirt. I noticed the last one was an old band t-shirt, and yeah, it had a wee sweary word on it, but this is my like my Graberman Cyberman t-shirt. If I do it that way up, it's easier to look at, innit? Right, let's go. So there is a horseshoe on Harris tweed. I think that's quite nice on its own actually. Do you think that needs anything else, or would that be okay just as a thing, you know, a framed horseshoe on some Harris tweed? Anyway, and 2 little hearts. So I am going to keep playing with my wee experiment here and see how it gets on. First of all, what I'm going to do, most importantly, is not touch that until it dries. Hopefully the glue will soak through the Harris tweed into the wood and it'll be solid. We'll find out tomorrow. And that is the final product. We just had a discussion about whether or not it needed anything more than that, like sea pottery hearts and stuff. Bex reckons that's really nice as it is, so it's going on eBay as it is, and the sea pottery hearts will be joining it shortly when I get them finished.